If you're a Lakers fan, buckle up because the purple and gold might not be done making moves just yet. The rumor mill is spinning at full speed, and one name that's suddenly back in the conversation is none other than Jrue Holiday. Yes, the same Jrue Holiday who has been a defensive nightmare for opposing guards, the same guy who brings championship experience, veteran leadership, and a two-way game that fits like a glove with what the Lakers desperately need right now. But here's the big question: are the Lakers actually positioning themselves to bring him to LA? And if so, what other moves could be in the works to reshape this roster before the season tips off? We're breaking it all down tonight, and I'll be answering your questions live, so stick around because this is going to get good. Alright, let's set the stage. The Lakers' offseason so far has been a blend of calculated moves and fan-frustrating inaction. Rob Pelinka and the front office have made a few solid signings and re-signings to keep the core intact, but there's been a lingering sense among fans that the job's not done yet. Yes, LeBron James and Anthony Davis are still the foundation, but with how competitive the Western Conference is right now, the margin for error is razor thin. Denver is still the reigning champion with Jokic at full power, Phoenix is loaded with star power, Golden State isn't going away, and even young teams like the Thunder are on the rise. That means the Lakers can't afford to run it back with the exact same roster and hope for different results. They need more firepower, more versatility, and more depth. This is where Jrue Holiday's name starts to get very interesting. If you know basketball, you know Holiday isn't just another guard. He's one of the few players in the league who can truly impact both ends of the floor every single night. Defensively, he's an absolute menace. He can guard ones, twos, and even switch onto small forwards without getting bullied. Offensively, he's not going to give you Luka Doncic numbers, but he can get buckets, run the offense, and hit big shots in the clutch. More importantly, he plays with poise. He doesn't get rattled, and he's proven he can thrive in high-pressure playoff moments. Just ask the Phoenix Suns fans who saw him strip Devin Booker in crunch time during the Bucks' championship run. For the Lakers, adding Holiday would mean finally having a legitimate defensive stopper in the backcourt to pair with Austin Reeves or D'Angelo Russell. It would also mean less pressure on LeBron to handle the ball constantly, especially during the regular season. Holiday's presence would give the team the flexibility to run multiple offensive sets, keep the tempo balanced, and avoid those stagnant half-court possessions that have killed the Lakers in recent years. And let's not forget, if you're going into a playoff series against Steph Curry, Jamal Murray, or Devin Booker, wouldn't you want a guy like Holiday on your side to chase them around and make their lives miserable? Now, the big question is, how do the Lakers actually make this happen? That's where things get tricky. Holiday isn't going to come cheap. Whether it's via trade or some creative salary maneuvering, the Lakers would have to give up some valuable assets to land him. This likely means one or more of the following: D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, future draft picks, or maybe even some of the young guys like Max Christie. It's a tough pill to swallow because those players are important to the Lakers' depth, but the reality is you can't get a player of Holiday's caliber without giving up something of value. The front office will have to decide if the defensive upgrade and playoff reliability Holiday brings outweigh the cost of losing those pieces. And here's where things get even more intriguing: the Lakers might not stop at just Holiday. There are whispers that Pelinka is looking at the possibility of multiple roster tweaks before the season. This could mean targeting another big man to back up Anthony Davis and keep him from taking too much of a pounding in the paint. Names like Daniel Tice, JaVale McGee, and even a possible reunion with Dwight Howard have been floating around the fanbase. The idea would be to shore up the frontcourt depth so that AD doesn't have to log heavy minutes at center, especially against the bigger, more physical Western Conference teams. But it's not just about big men. The Lakers could also look to improve their three-point shooting. As good as they've been defensively at times, their spacing has been an issue. In today's NBA, you can't afford to be middle of the pack from deep if you want to win a title. Adding another sharpshooter, someone who can consistently hit 38% or better from beyond the arc, would open the floor for LeBron and AD to operate and make Holiday's offensive contributions even more impactful. So where does all this leave us right now? The Lakers are in a holding pattern, but the clock is ticking. Training camp is coming fast, and the front office knows that if they're going to make a move, they need to do it before the season starts. Waiting until the trade deadline is always an option, but history shows that chemistry matters. The earlier you get your roster set, the better chance you have at building the trust and cohesion needed for a deep playoff run. Now let's talk about the Jrue Holiday fit in more detail. Imagine a closing lineup of Holiday, Reeves, LeBron, Jrue, and AD. That's a lineup that can switch everything, pressure the ball, and still have enough shooting and playmaking to score efficiently. Holiday can run pick and rolls with AD, spot up when LeBron drives, and even post up smaller guards when the matchup calls for it. Defensively, you'd have multiple high IQ players who know how to rotate, contest shots, and communicate. This is the type of lineup that gives you a real shot against any team in the league. Of course, some will argue that Holiday's age, he's in his mid-30s, might be a concern. But this is the Lakers we're talking about, and they're in win-now mode. As long as LeBron is still playing at a high level, the priority has to be maximizing the present, not protecting the future. That's why I think the conversation about Holiday is so compelling. It's not just about adding another good player, it's about making a move that says, we're all in. And that brings us to the live Q&A part of this conversation. I want to hear from you. Would you be willing to give up Russell and a couple of picks for Holiday? Do you think his defense and leadership would put the Lakers over the top, or do you think the team should hold on to their assets and wait for a bigger name to become available? Also, how do you feel about potentially making multiple moves instead of just one big trade? Is depth more important than star power in today's NBA? Look, at the end of the day, the Lakers have options but not unlimited time. Jrue Holiday would be a massive upgrade for this team, but the front office has to weigh the risks and rewards carefully. For me, the idea of Holiday locking down opposing guards while LeBron and AD handle the scoring load is too good to ignore. If the Lakers can pull this off without gutting their roster, they instantly become one of the most dangerous teams in the league. Alright, Lakers Nation, now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the chat. Should Rob Pelinka go all in for Jrue Holiday? And if not him, who's the move that can push the Lakers over the top this season? Let's break it down together, because one thing's for sure, this offseason might not be over yet, and the purple and gold could have a few more surprises up their sleeve.